Hello, good morning everyone. Today I shall point out the salient features of Indian Constitution. Constitution, it is the supreme law of our country. Now, Indian Constitution is the basic charter of our polity which has laid down the rules, regulations and intricacies relating to the governance of our country. Now, coming to the salient features. Firstly, I would like to state that we have the lengthiest constitution containing more than 400 articles and 12 schedules. Then, the various sources of our constitution. Our constitution, is the blend of the constitution of different countries. Some provisions have been adopted from the Government of India Act 1935. Some have been taken from the constitution of different countries like USA, UK, Canada and Ireland. Say for an instance, the fundamental rights, the part 3, that is the chapter of fundamental rights, have been taken from the constitution of USA. The parliamentary form of our country has been derived from the British Constitution, and the directive principles have been taken from the Constitution of the Ireland. Then the amendment of our Constitution. Yes, our Constitution, it can be amended. The process of amendment is not so flexible and not so rigid. So here we may state that our Constitution is, the amendment of our Constitution is a blend of both rigid and flexibility. Then federalism. We have federalism in our country. So our country is a federal structure, is having a federal structure. Our polity, our government is having a federal structure, but with some unitary tendencies or centralizing tendencies, with some unitary biasness. So in India, next in India, we have parliamentary form of government, not presidential form of government like USA. USA is having a presidential form, but we here in India we have the parliamentary form of polity. Then the secularism, secular form of our country. So secularism means and indicates that the state shall be indifferent to all religion. So every religion shall be equal in the eyes of law. There shall not be any discrimination on the part of the state based on religion. Then comes the judiciary. Independent and impartial judiciary. It is one of the basic or essential feature of federalism also. So our judiciary is somewhat kept separated from the influence, from the encroachment of the executive and legislature of our country. Then the universal adult franchise. We have the concept of universal adult franchise, and that means that every person who attains the age of 18 years shall be given the right to vote. Then comes the concept of single citizenship. Though we have federalism in our country, that is the existence of two sets of governments, in spite of that, the citizenship is single in nature. We do not have the concept of double citizenship. Provisions are there in our constitution relating to fundamental rights as laid down in part 3 of the constitution, which are sacrosanct in nature. Then in part 4 of the constitution we have directive principles of state policies. Maybe those are not fundamental, those are not enforceable like fundamental right, but those are definitely justiciable as derived, as interpreted by the Supreme Court time to time. Then we have emergency provisions. So if emergency situation arises in our country, then emergency can be proclaimed, and different aspects like the legislative power, executive power, all these things, the fundamental rights are kept suspended during the emergency period of the emergency time. In our country, we have certain independent bodies like Election Commission of our country, then Comptroller and Auditor General, then the Union Public Service Commission. So these are the main or essential features of Indian Constitution. Thank you for watching.